Okay, well, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Art4Truth. I appreciate you tagging along, watching this video. It's not going out live, but I'm going to act like it is. More or less. Oh yes, we're gonna jam a little bit. We will get through anything we want to if we let our consciousness shine through. Now more than ever is a time for art to connect with that creative energy, that stuff that you wanted to for a while. Some of us who have stepped outside the normal economy to pursue this life artistically for a long time have seen the importance of your creative energy. And now that you are at home, whether with a family or alone, you are never fully by yourself. Oh yes, if you can somehow learn to express yourself. Art is so many things, it's so deep, it's so heavy. All anybody really needs to know, depending of course on how far they want to go, is that it is a connection to life, to the creative, somehow creative forces of life. And it's a great way to give that part of you that's not just animal or instinctual type of creature, that conscious part of you, a chance to kind of come through and give it something to do. Art, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to take my word for it. Look at every single aspect of human history as far as we could see, somehow, some way, connected to art, life, music, poetry. And if the powers that be don't want people to see, oh yes, the deeper truths of reality, that of course have to be possible if there is any such thing as infinity and the reality of possibility. Infinity, factor infinity, oh yes, if you can wrap your head around that, then you can see how art is a part of that. The compositional consciousness of the universe in every single possible way that it can manifest itself interdimensionally through infinity. Art always changes, grows, connects the fabric, the flow, the reason for something to be, because it's composed consciously. So, while you are home, I hope that you have plenty of crayons and stocked up on your art supplies, because, and if not, you can still order them. And life's not completely shut down, ladies and gentlemen. It's different, not the end of the world. New beginning. Instead of your rat race living, you will see, oh yes, the power of expressing your creative energy if you devote some of your time and your frustration and your mind to art in these troubled times. And then you will see and maybe find you want to do it all the time. Our economy will start eventually being more about treating people well and living in harmony, because that is how art needs to be. And when I say needs to be, I cannot ever dictate one way of what art is, what it could be, but I do know that it is connected to the forces of infinity. And not just a creative expression of you and me. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you hear my plea to connect to it somehow, whichever way, shape, or form helps you through the day. And I hope that you can continue to further incorporate those of us who truly wish to delve into this energy and not be products, a part of this commercial living bullshit autocracy. Oh yes, to incorporate this kind of pure energy somehow into the economy of the basic needs. Eating, being able to not suffer. Every single human being, actually, we're going to get on this, every single human being is capable of, worthy of, and deserving of a life that is free of oppressive agony, slave labor, horrors, atrocity, thievery, all of the above. We could do this. It could happen. We have the resources, we have the power, we have the impetus, we have the intelligence, we have a greater growing consciousness. There is an revolution happening right now in the mind, in our way of living in humankind. Embrace it, ladies and gentlemen. We do not have to have an oligarchy of the powers that be corrupting the whole earth and all of this fucking capital treat each other like shit economy. That is not how art works, and that is not how we work. It doesn't work. We have to change it. It's okay. It doesn't mean that everyone's going to die all of a sudden. No, in fact, everyone's going to live if we live more like we would live in art. If we incorporate art into the way we live, the way we look at things, trying to make beauty, harmony, creative energy, something that always can change and flow and is free to grow. Freedom. Freedom! Art is about freedom. Creative energy is about freedom. Harmony, with all of the energies living, working together and making things work somehow, is about freedom. That's right, evolution needs freedom. It needs to change, it needs to grow, evolve. It cannot be dictated by any one source. Never gonna work. That's why Luke Skywalker defeated the Empire. At least originally, I haven't even seen the last one yet, not to digress too far. I will at some point. Make art now. Do it with your children. My goodness, learn from your children and help them learn. So parents, let me add this into this little bit of jam here. Red, yellow, and blue are the primary colors of pigments. If you're mixing colors together, paint and whatnot, red, yellow, and blue. And from these three colors, you can make almost any other color come true, more or less. And in theory, if you had a perfect conditions, but you can do a lot with just those colors of any brand. And you can show this to your children. Mix a little bit of red. Oh yes, just a little bit of red with a good amount of yellow, and you will see you will have a beautiful orange like the sun or the peach tree. Oh yes, and then if you take a little bit of yellow and blue, yeah, you know what I mean. You do not need a lot of blue. Most colors, some, different paints and pigments have different properties, different brands, but generally, light doesn't go as far as dark. So use just a little bit of blue to a good amount of yellow, and you will make a nice middle green, a nice beautiful leafy green, maybe like celery or Granny Smith apple. Oh or the reflection from the water of the trees. Yellow and blue make green. All right, now we've got the other two primary colors, red and blue. I bet you know what they do. Actually, they make colors too. Two, as in TWO. You see, if you mix red and blue together, you will get purple and or violet, depending on the proportion of red to blue that you use. See, blues and reds can almost be of a similar value, so it doesn't make such a light-dark gradation the way yellow and red and yellow and blue do. You can tell this to your children now, show them just by mixing color. All the different things that you can do if you mix purple and red, or purple and violet. Oh yes, you could make fruit grapes, you could just make beautiful purple streaks all over the place. So that's a little bit of a tutorial that you can teach your children. More coming on that. With some visual demonstrations, but for now, all right, red, yellow, blue, primary colors. And then from them you get orange, green, and purple and violet respectively. Mix these colors together and you will see, you will find more than a rainbow. Now, if you mix all of these colors together, you can find so many browns, grays. If you match one primary color to one secondary color, red and green, orange and blue, yellow and purple, these are called, teach this to your children now, complementary colors. Complementary colors, and that means that when together they almost neutralize each other. They make gray and brown, varying degrees depending on how you measure your colors together. And if you think about it, grays, browns, earthy colors, they're everywhere, in the sea, in the air, on the ground, in the buildings, on all of our skins. All of our skins. You can mix complementary colors together in varying degrees and get all kinds of different connections and relations. All of these colors you can find from red, yellow, and blue. Show your children now, yeah, because there's nothing that you can't do if you can do anything with color. Oh, man. For your life, for your soul, for your consciousness, oh, yes. Even people who actually do things that are practical for physical living, like farmers and people who make food and stuff, clothing, things we need, it can be done very, very artistically, beautifully. Food preparation. All our basic necessities can be done with a connection to the deepest sense of craftsmanship and connection to the grand composition of life. As infinite in form as it comes, as long as consciousness is infinitely allowed to express itself. Teach that to your children now. Teach art to your children. Teach art to your children. Just the basics. Mix colors together. Start with that. You can do anything you want. You can. Art's not about filling in the lines. It's about creating a universe. You can do anything you want, but you start with those three colors. Mix them together. Make the gradiating. Add white too. Oh yes, white and black. There you go. There's another dimension I got to add to this. So white definitely will give you a whole nother range of your, especially purples and the darker colors and your greens and stuff. Oh, what a range. Love gray and white. If you add your complementary colors, add some white to those. You'll get so many grays and beautiful browns. Oh, yeah. And black, don't use just to darken things. Use complementary natural colors to darken things. If you mix red and green together, it will fade back. It'll be, if you wanted to make trees, for example, bright green in the front, and then you want the one in the distance to look farther away, add a little red to it. It'll dull it out a little bit. The farther you go, add a little bit more red or blue because things get bluer in the distance because of all the stuff in the air, the dirt, The particles that we can't see, oh, they're there, and they create a film in front of our eyes. In fact, that is called aerial perspective. We're fairly familiar with the idea of linear perspective, you know, going down the railroad tracks and seeing it get to a point. Aerial perspective is what you really want to think about. When you're talking about color, even in the color of abstraction, when you're not even worried about the linear perspective or a certain sense of depth or level, but you just want colors to go in and out of each other. Yep, mix the grays. Black to yellow makes a beautiful, beautiful green. One of the many, many lessons I learned from my mentor, Tom Blodgett. Make art with your children. People who may be hearing this now or a million years from now. in the historical documents. Just for the energy of it. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're enjoying yourselves in this time. Do what we can to find the sublime. Be grateful for the things that we have, those of us who have things. Share energy, share love.